Hello Goobers, it's me, your favorite Goober, and a quick update for you today. I'm not feeling 100%, sorry for the later upload. Although it's still before midnight, so it's a personal W still. Um, I have been thinking about my manga, that's just kind of a little theme I've had as of late. And, you know, if there's one thing that I do apologize about, it's my secrecy when it comes to my manga. I think there is plenty that I will be willing to talk about, but I just need to make sure that I blueprint a way to talk about it without revealing too much. If there's one thing I'm trying to get better at, which I really had to pull myself from doing, especially last year, was yapping too long about my manga and explaining too many things and revealing so many things. I find it really easy to yap about my manga, very passionate, and there's also just the personal aspect where I like when people understand me, and part of being understood comes in the form of explaining every little thing, so that way there is a um, even playing field of knowledge, so that way when I go to explain maybe a new thing or a new character, there's context to everything, and then it's like, wait a minute, Alex, you just spoiled, like, some pretty important stuff, man. Probably shouldn't do that. And I've just been learning to take myself away from over-explaining. So, all that long yippity yapping to say that I won't mention what I was thinking about today, just because, oh boy. I say thinking about, but really I could probably use the word developing. Uh, you know, I guess it's fair to leave you with, like, it just involves characters that I was mentioning the other day. And it also involves some locations I'm playing around with, as well as kind of, I guess this one I can talk about. I don't really need to be secretive about this. I'm toying around with a few different world ideas. I think one of the big ones that I'm considering, but haven't committed to, is this idea of having like magical beasts. There is like this magical energy, this life energy, and it's important. And I was considering whether or not I should have magical creatures, right? Because if you think about it, like maybe this energy can be stored and converted into these elements. So like, it's an explanation for why dragons could breathe fire, and maybe why they could fly. Maybe they're masters of wind and fire. Maybe not every dragon can breathe fire, but they're all masters of wind, so they can lift themselves up without needing wings that span half a skyscraper to lift their heavy bodies, you know? And then I was also considering the plant life, magical plants and stuff like that. And then if I took that magical route, that life energy kind of system, and applied it to creatures and plant life, um, then it's like, how mystical of a world do I want? How many things do I want? Do I want like potions and magical stuff like that? Or do I just want like basic herbology that's not like really potions and stuff like that? It's just kind of something I've been playing around with. I don't think I want potions, just to be clear. But you know, it's something that I've considered because, you know, you got magical plants, maybe they can have magical properties. Maybe this plant is like super enhanced to heal damaged flesh or something like that. You know, maybe it's something that can, I don't know, maybe there's like plants that can put out fires, like stuff like that. You know, maybe because there's magical creatures that cause some crazy chaos, right? Maybe there really is plants that are evolved in the ecosystem to act as like natural sprinkler systems, so that way the forests don't burn down. But then also, like, if I remember correctly, forest fires are like super important to Mother Nature. I need to do my research on that because that might be a baloney claim. But if I remember correctly, like, they are important. So, like, maybe there isn't a natural sprinkler system. Maybe for my world there is. It's a bunch of questions that I have to consider. Oh my gosh. Just considering an ecosystem and creating one of those and balancing one sounds very time consuming. Sounds fun though, but they're delicate. I mean, even down the insects and plants, even under a microscope, there's plenty of things in an ecosystem that are super duper important. Imagining developing all of that from scratch. Ooh, that would take a while. But then I could say I have a very in-depth ecology system. I don't know. Would it even matter? Would I even focus that much on the world? Maybe, I don't know. I feel like that's the type of thing you write like a little side book about, where it's like, welcome to the ecology of insert the name of my manga here. You go in depth about it, and it's just a fun little, like, side read for people who care about learning more about the world, I guess. I don't really know. You know, maybe I shouldn't focus too much on ecology. Maybe I should. It's all very interesting. Yeah, that's given me lots to think about now. Wonderful. Anyways, with that being said, I am going to end it here. So good night and good luck. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.